So have you given any thought to how much money, if they're just coming up, they're driving up for 2 weeks? Do you have any idea what that total cost of that might be?
Yeah. So I have driven the Alcan 9 times, and I've tracked all of my mileage and gas all of those times.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my next video. Today we're here with my good friend Lindra.
Hi.
Hi Lindra.
Hi, Bob.
And Lindra has some really exciting news that I think a lot of you are going to enjoy. I'm from Alaska. I've lived in Alaska over 40 years. And so when people find out, the first thing they always say is, oh, I've always wanted to go to Alaska. The reason so many people talk about going to Alaska but don't go is saving up money. That's really hard. It's a long, expensive trip. And they're not sure what to do there once they get there. So Lindra is putting on this amazing van stock event in Alaska. And I hope it will answer those problems for you so that when you get there, you'll be glad you were there. You'll know how to get there. It'll alleviate some of the fear, and you'll meet people and just have a fantastic time. So, Lindra, tell us a little bit about the Van Stock event you're planning.
Yes. So Van Stock is a van life and travelers festival. It is a gathering that is centered around education and community and bringing this beautiful nomad community to Alaska. A lot of Alaskans they love the land, they love the last frontier, they love being outdoors, but mental health can be a struggle up north. And so creating this beautiful nomad community to come to Alaska and show Alaskans that there is another way to live. If you don't like the life that you're currently living, there's other options, and forming this beautiful community up north.
So it's early. We're shooting this in April of 2024. We're hoping to give you plenty of time to save up some money. So when is the event?
Van Stock is July 18th through the 21st of 2025.
And you're not exactly sure of the location yet.
Yes, I'm not exactly sure. The land isn't for sure booked yet, but it will most likely be in the Matanuska-Susitna Valley, which is this large glacial valley with really beautiful mountains. There's a lot of farmland there, and I threw Van Stock in 2020, which we all know what happened in 2020. And last time it was on 200 acres on top of this mountain overlooking the glacial river, and it was enough land for everyone to meet and camp in a big circle and form that community.
So by giving you a lot of advance notice, we're hoping that you can save up some money. Now, a lot of you have told me that you're a little concerned about the drive. It's such a long drive. It's a dangerous drive. Is there anything you can do to help people with that?
Yeah, I have a website. It's vanstock.org, and there's an entire several pages on the website on how to prepare for the Alcan. So the border website, the legal aspects of who and who can't cross, how much gas you need, how much money you typically need for gas to make the drive, depending on your vehicle and miles per gallon. There's all about bear aware and moose and answering all of those questions as well. And so I tried to create a resource for people to where they can go and feel prepared to make that drive.
And a lot of what you're trying to accomplish is build community and bring people together in the beauty of Alaska. So if one of our viewers wanted to find someone else to drive up with and visit Alaska in, is there anything you can do to help them connect?
Yeah, I also have a Facebook page, Van Stock Alaska, and then there's also a group called Van Stock Caravan. And there's already 300 members from last time that Van Stock was going to happen, and lots of different people who are interested in going, meeting, sharing locations, and creating that community of a caravan, no matter where you are in the country, to venture to the border with.
And of course, I'm going to drive up there myself. It'll be earlier in the summer. I'll probably drive up in June. I like to go to Alaska. I still have a son that lives there, so I go up and see him on a regular basis. And I will be at the gathering. So have you given any thought to how much money, if they're just coming up, say they're just coming up for 2 weeks, they're driving up, do you have any idea what that total cost of that might be?
Yeah. So I have driven the Alcan 9 times, and I've tracked all of my mileage and gas all of those times. My van gets, on the Alcan, it's pretty much uphill both ways. So it's a...
How does it do that?
It's a lot of mountain passes, so you might be getting a little less mileage than you normally do, to think about that. But I averaged 14 miles to the gallon in my van driving the Alcan, and I spent an average of $700 to $800 to drive it one way. So to be safe, $2,000 in gas. You'll want to, drive around the state as well. It is very far. It's about 3,000 miles from Washington to the border of Alaska. So it's a trek. But $2,000 I think is a safe amount to budget for your gas money.
Right. And then, once you've factored that in, you're going to spend more on food. Food's more expensive. There's usually places to stay, so you shouldn't have to spend too much or any on campgrounds or that kind of thing. So, that's just give you a very broad, rough figure. Gas might be more, it might be less. We're not making you any promises.
Yeah, Alaska, that's a good point to make too, is you can stay almost anywhere in Alaska. Alaska is by far the largest state. 4 of Texas can fit in Alaska as a perspective. So there's lots and lots of land. There's lots of free places to park. I've never paid for parking or camping in the entire time in being in the state. So that's a safe bet to plan for, is that you're going to be able to stay and get around and camp pretty easily there.
So if you can save $100, $200 a month between now and then, $200, that should give you a pretty comfortable margin to get up there, most of us. If you start now, hopefully you can save up enough money to see you there. If you come, you can have the dubious, very, very dubious pleasure of meeting me. But if you want to inflict that pain on yourself, you're welcome to come and meet me. So, Linda, tell us a little bit about yourself. What's your background as a nomad, and what inspired you to do this?
Yeah, so in 2017, I left Alaska in the wintertime. I drove down the Alcan, and my whole family asked me, well, where are you going to go? And my answer was RTR. I saw Bob's video, and I had never really left the state for a long period of time before. I'd never lived anywhere else. And I felt like RTR was an invitation. And because I didn't know anything at that time, I was very fresh, RTR was this beautiful landing place for me. I got so much out of it. I went to RTR 29 days fresh on the road. I met my best friend that I've ever had. I've met incredible people, and really my whole life to this date stemmed from that moment at RTR. And so in May of 2018, I was like, you know what? I think Alaska could really use this community. And when I was a kid and growing up, I felt like I never really belonged, and I had struggled with mental health. But being in this community made me feel validated. It made me feel seen and welcomed. And so I wanted to bring this new love and stability and community and education that I received from RTR. I wanted to bring it back home and share it with the people that I love, share it with Alaskans, and kind of make a bridge between all of the community down here in the lower 48 and Alaska. And so in 2019, I decided that I was going to do it, and Vanstock 2020 was on, and everything was booked, and we had vendors and musicians, and the land was really special. And so it was very special. It did unfortunately get canceled that year, and I personally have been kind of recouping from that ever since. And so when it was canceled, I knew that I wanted to keep it alive, and that I knew that Vanstock wanted to happen as like an energy of this, I feel would be good for people. And Bob and I met this past December, and Bob is making Vanstock possible again.
But let me say, I'm just putting up some of the money, but this is your baby.
It is, but I feel deeply in gratitude for you seeing me and seeing the vision that Vanstock can do for the community and being willing to help so graciously. It was a really beautiful experience to meet you and have lunch, and I originally wasn't even going to bring Vanstock up when we met, but my good friend was like, Bob's from Alaska, I think you would think this is cool.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And we did, and it is history ever since, and it's happening now.
Right. And I'll be honest with you, my first thought was, well, yeah, I would love to have a Vanstock in Alaska, but my next thought was, I'd like to have them all over the country.
Yeah, and that's ultimately the goal that I would love to have. Alaska is my roots. It is the place of origin that I would love to start. But in the future, I would love to have these gathering places, and possibly Colorado and other places around the states that are a little more accessible. I would love to have Vanstock branch out and have be able to touch more people.
That's both of our goal, is just to make people's lives better, more enjoyable, get out and see things, and really embrace a full life of adventure. Now, with RTR, we have never charged anything, but that has caused a lot of problems because we're dependent on where we can get free, and because we can't charge. So that has really limited our ability to camp together. Now, what you want is for us to camp together. So will that mean you'll have to charge?
Yes, there will be tickets. Tickets will be released in January of 2025. Alaska has a lot of public land, and that is incredible, but most of it is very inaccessible. And so in order to provide the experience that I would love to provide with the musicians and the vendors, supporting local businesses, kind of boosting that local economy of Alaska as well, charging is something that I would have to do to be able to deliver that true, authentic experience and provide you, who you are invited to come, with a life-changing experience.
So that's just the way it is. There are almost no free events that are in a rented place. It just can't. That's not the way economics works in this country. So you'll have to start now. It's a long drive. There'll be the price of the tickets. Now, we don't have hardly any details other than a date and a rough location. So how are they going to keep in touch and find these things as you get them sorted out?
Yeah, so there's a lot of past posts and information on the website of what Vanstock was in 2020, and I hope to do all of those things and more this year. So you can expect from all of that information, you can expect for it to be a level up and even better than that. And so a great way to stay in touch is vanstock.org. I have an email list, and so you can plug in your email. I only send you pertinent information about the event, ticket releases, announcements like the exact place that it's going to be, how to prepare, Alcan tips, stuff like that. And then I also have an Instagram for Vanstock, that's Vanstock Alaska, and that has past information from the year 2020 as well, and will also be updated on a regular basis as all of the fun details get released.
So, Linda, have you thought about maybe someone would like to come to Alaska and then work for the summer and then just take those 3 days off to come to the event?
Yeah, I thought about that. Alaska, taking an entire summer off isn't necessarily accessible for all people. And so Alaska booms in the summer and has an incredible amount of work. There's lots of tourism agencies, there's lots of outdoor guiding, there's many very cool jobs that are in Alaska, and that is something that I, as a local of Alaska, have the opportunity to put on the website as well. So all of the companies that are hiring for the summer, different ideas for you to make money while you're in Alaska to make it more accessible.
So there you go. Go to that website and find a job in Alaska. And so this could be just part of that whole adventure, and pay for it while you're there.
I will mention too, really quick, a common question that gets asked is the weather window in terms of no snow. The weather window that I personally recommend is May 6th to September. May 6th is when you can legally drive the Alcan without snow chains. And September, it's going to be fall. It's going to be getting pretty cold. And in reference, July is the hottest month of the year, and August starts to get rainy and starts to turn into fall. So if you want to stay the whole summer, which I do highly recommend if you're able to, that is a nice chunk of time to conceptually start thinking about.
Well, I'm just really excited to tell you all about this. I think it will help a lot of you fulfill your dreams, help you find friends to travel with, idea of cost, something to do when you get there, maybe a job waiting for you there, and lots of wonderful opportunities. Thank you so much, Lindra, for all your, this is going to be a huge amount of work.
Yes, I'm prepared.
And so, folks, we hope to see you there. Go to the website, check it out, maybe sign up on the list, get notices as things get resolved and certain. And I'm looking forward to seeing you there. I'll be camping there with you, and I think it's just going to be amazing. So if you're interested, or maybe you're not, maybe you know that next year you just can't go, would you please share this with all of your friends on social media? Just share it, and maybe they will get the opportunity to go for themselves. So folks, hope you got something out of this video. If you did, like us on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button, and we'll talk to you later. Bye now.